Ta-da! Welcome back, or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. This is day 9 of Emerge. So we're still into the feet. I tried to move it up into arms, and my belly, my pelvis, my legs, and my feet went, no. So we're still in legs and feet. I'm just trusting the process here. So come sit on your mat, and we will move and connect, and then come to stand. So come. So sitting on your mat and just roll into your ankles. Anya was terribly excited that we're back in the windows. Yeah, it's interesting. During the winter, I just can't do it. It's too black behind me. But now this emerging purple, it's snowing here today. It's amazing. And then roll in the other direction. I just feel, feeling into your feet. It's amazing. People have been telling me the stories of their feet. So many stories in our feet, huh? Baby toe side down, big toe side down. And I think even more in our toes and in the way that they don't move. So just really hold this attention to, before I spent a summer trying to move my eyebrows, I couldn't move my eyebrows. And so now, after spending some time with our feet, can you move them a little bit more? Great. Squeeze your toes in. Stretch your toes wide. Right, trying that baby toe side. Just bring attention into it. Even when you reach down, wiggle your toes, feel your toes. These amazing toes of ours. And then squeeze them in. Open them wide. Feel your toes. Squeeze them in, open them wide. That's if you can reach your toes. If you can't, that's also okay. Squeeze them in, open them wide. Squeeze them in, open them wide. That thing that I really long for, the cracking of my feet when I close them down, is starting to happen. Because after the 9 days of feet, things are changing. So things change, they creep up on us, change. Just feel that. How does it feel to really spend time with our feet again? Nice. Bend your right knee, bring your foot to the floor, and then just lift and drop your foot, your toes a few times, just your toes. Nice. And then the front of your foot, so that your heel stays down and you're lifting everything but your heel. Now lift your heel. Nice. And then rock your foot. Heel lifts, ball of your foot lifts. Heel lifts, ball of your foot. Heel, and ball of your foot. And now we're going to baby toe, big toe side our foot. Baby toe side, big toe side. And feel how, as you move towards the baby toe side, your knee moves a bit away. And as you move towards the baby toe side, your knee moves a little bit towards you. But I'm not moving my knee to move my foot. My foot is moving my foot. So I'm trying to mobilize into my ankle as I do this. Feel that. Feel the floor. Can you feel the texture of your yoga mat beneath your feet? What toes feel it most clearly? What part of your foot feels it most clearly? Can you feel no mat and then mat, the absence of mat on the bit that's lifting? Interesting. Nice. Stretch your leg out long. Other side. Bend your left knee up. Bring your foot to the floor and just lift your toes up and down. Just your toes. Ball of your foot stays down. Nice. And now the front of your foot, keeping your heel down. So I'm going to make this foot could just slap down. It could just go. So I'm going to slow down the dropping and make it a little bit more connected, the dropping of my foot. This foot has a tendency to slap the floor a bit more. It walks more like a little flipper, my foot here, this wonderful foot of mine. And so I'm just making it a little bit more connected as I move it. Now heel only. Nice. Foot, front of foot, heel, front of foot, heel. And feel your ankle. Like, I'm really interested in my ankle right now. Very nice. Nice. Now big toe, baby toe side. And my knee is moving a little bit, but it's not my knee moving my foot. It's my foot moving my foot. Big toe, baby toe side. I'm so intrigued by this kind of absolute obsession with feet that I'm going through. Thank you for joining me for this journey into feet. Yeah, it's not what I planned, but it's what's happening. It's very nice. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Nice. And bring your foot forward. Nice. So step your right foot back. And now drop your knee down and draw your knee as far back as it goes. So now we're waving our whole leg backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. And what happens with your sit bones and the deep of your pelvis, your inner thigh, your lower back as you sway your knee slowly forward and backwards. So slow the movement down. Back, forwards. So I'm now going to try and feel not only the end of range, but the whole middle range. Can I bring my awareness into like the places that just feel like, oh, nothing's happening there. My knee is just traveling forward. What's happening between the two ends of range? That's such an intriguing thing, isn't it? It's like trying to find out what air looks like. What does this feel like? Nice, other side. So swing the left foot back and then forward and backwards with the left leg. So the snow is on objects here. It's on the cars, it's on, the tops of walls, but it hasn't really stuck to the road. So I'd say, yeah, hopefully it won't freeze. Freezing now would be a little bit dodgy, but snow's very sweet. Just forward and backwards. What happens between the two ends of range? Nice, both legs forward. Cool. So we did this one yesterday, both feet to the floor. And so both feet to the floor, my knees are wide, and just lift your toes. We did a different version yesterday. So just lift your toes. Nice. And then just lift the front of your feet. Wow, a little bit trickier. Just lift your heels, front of your feet, heels, front of your feet, heels, front of your feet. Baby toe side, big toe side, baby toe side. It's such a squeeze when you go to the big toe side. Woo! Nice, cool. Come into your downward dog. So those of you who say that your feet don't move, I know they do. I know you walk. So, so it's that thing where what is your movement? Not what is the movement that I'm doing, but what's the movement that your body does in that place, and how do you encourage and deepen into it? Just cycle your legs in your downward dog, bending one knee, bending the other, bending both knees, stretching both legs. And you deepen in, connect in, have a sense of how your pelvis is moving, how your legs are moving, how you're connecting into the floor. So can you push your right foot really deeply down and then push your left foot really deeply down? So feel like you're actually really pushing into the floor. So when I do that, I feel the deep of my belly, my psoas begins to engage in a very powerful way. The deep of my belly, I feel the strings of the psoas. Nice. Walk your feet forward. Bring your elbows to your knees. Just pause there for a moment. Nice. Hands to your knees. And then come all the way up to stand. Hands to your hips. Just roll into your hips. Circle. So keep your feet glued to the floor as you do this. So typically when I do this, my toes start to lift and all kinds of things. So really keep your feet on the floor as you roll. There's a moment where you have the push squeeze through the hips, and then you have the squeeze through the front of the hips. Push, squeeze forward, squeeze backwards, forwards, backwards. Really feel the action of hips closing, hips opening, closing, opening, change direction. So I'm really dropping my torso down so I get a clearer sense of the front of my hips closing. Nice, calm to stand. Nice. So swan. Reach your arms back, rising up, just feel the length of you, and then bend your elbows, squeeze your bum, push your hips forward. Nice. And now diving forward, bend your knees down as far as you can go, like you're about to dive into a swimming pool. Rising up, squeeze your bum, and then dropping down, squeeze the front of your hips. So I'm trying to make or encourage or allow my belly and my thighs to squeeze towards each other. And then my hips open and squeeze forward. One more time. Squeeze forward. And then opening. Nice. Cool. So come down and bring your hands to the floor. And that might be where your hands are way out. Might be where your hands are close. Just find a place where your hands are on the floor. If you want, you can put your hands on a chair or on a couch or on a pillow if that feels like it's too low to get your hands to the floor. Put them on something, okay? It's not about, it's finding your way to do this, okay? So your hands are on something, wall, couch, floor, whatever it is. And then keeping your heels on the floor, bend your knees and then straighten your legs. Bend your knees, keep your heels on the floor. So what is it like to bend your knees while you keep your heels on the floor? How does that work in your body? How is it to straighten your legs here? Remember, you're resting on the couch perhaps, and just straightening your legs, bending your knees. Straightening your legs, bending your knees. Next time you bend your knees, let yourself rise up onto your toes, and then straighten your legs. Rise up onto your toes. So now your bum doesn't drop as much because your knees are traveling more, but your knees are traveling softer, but your feet are stretching. Bend your knees, toes, heels lift. Bend your knees, heels lift. One more time. Bend your knees, heels lift. So walk your feet a little bit wider, turn your toes a little bit out, and then sit down so that your bum is kind of the same height as your shoulders. So that's what it feels like to me, but when I look on the screen, my bum is really high. So wherever it feels like that it's the right place, find the place for you. So interesting. I would imagine that this is where I was, but actually this is where I am. Great, cool. And just pause there. I'm in a really good place. My knees are wide, so my belly and my chest is down between my thighs. Nice, elbows to your knees, stay there. Nice, rising all the way up. Squeeze your bum and push your hips forward. So now we're really using that squeeze, that push squeeze of our hips to open into the front of our hips. Nice. Stand to the front of your mat. Wow, it's really snowing now. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's all white out there. Oh, it's very sweet. Great. Okay, so reach your arms wide, reaching up, lifting up. Squeeze your bum, push your hips forward. Bending your elbows, bending your knees, rolling forward, hands to the floor, forehead to your knees. Hands to your shins, lift your chest and look forward. Hands to the floor, step your right foot back. Pause there. So stretch back into that right foot. Your toes are on the floor. What's your heel doing? Can you open your knee a little bit more towards the ceiling by lengthening through that leg and push, squeezing through the right buttock and hip? Pause. Bend your back knee, let it touch the floor or just down a little bit. Straighten your leg, squeeze your right buttock. Bend your knee. Squeeze your right buttock as you straighten your leg. One more time. Bend your knee. Squeeze. Nice. Drop your right knee to the floor. So you can either have your hands either side of that left leg, or you can walk your hands over towards the right and just begin to straighten out through that front leg and bend your knee. So depending on your body, find the place where you can move forward and backwards and just put your hands wherever that is. So hands forward means that you stretch into the lower back more. Hands over to the side brings ease to your lower back and makes it only about your leg. Okay? So just see. What is this like for you to rock forwards and backwards? And then how do we find the push squeeze here? As we rock forward, push into that right hip. As we squeeze back, really draw your belly down towards your thigh. Squeeze, squeeze, push, squeeze. Nice. Step back into your downward dog. Just pausing there, having a bit of a wiggle. Nice. Knees down, knees are wide. Press down into a child's pose. So as you breathe here, notice how the pressure of your breath is pushing all the way down into your pelvic floor. So all the way down into your deep pelvis. Feeling the rise and drop through the lower back. I always feel like a tube of toothpaste. I'm like, as I squeeze my breath, I feel the pressure moving to different places in my body. Like a balloon that you squeeze at the top and then more pressure goes down. Just feel that as you breathe, connecting into the more pressure that happens down into the pelvis, down into the belly. The widening of the lower back. Nice. All the way up into your downward dog. And then step your right foot forward, whatever way you do. Nice. Step your left foot forward. Slowly rolling up, reach your arms wide. Reaching up, looking up. Wow, the snow is so sweet. Rolling all the way down. Hands to the floor, forehead to your knees. Hands to your shins, lift your chest and look forward. Hands to the floor, step your right foot back. No, left foot back. Sorry. Left foot back. I was thinking about the snow and I got confused. So, stretch into that left foot, lengthen the left knee, squeeze into the left buttock and push your hip forward. Drop your knee to the floor and straighten super strong your leg. Drop your knee to the floor, squeeze your buttocks, straighten your leg. Knee to the floor, straighten your leg. One more time. Knee to the floor, straighten your leg. Nice. Knee to the floor. Either keep your hands either side of that right leg or bring your hands over towards the left and then just bend and straighten your leg. So when your hands are over towards the left, it's only about your leg really and your bum. When your hands are either side of the right foot, it's also about your spine. So just see which way is right for you. If you find with your hands either side of the foot, you can't get much movement, then find out where there is movement. How do you create movement here? Rocking forward, rocking backwards. Forwards and backwards. Squeeze your hip forward, really deep and backwards. Feeling your feet. Super cool. Step back, downward dog. Pause. Nice. Come sit on the floor. Bring the soles of your feet close. Or if you want to do swan in a chair, you can. If you want to do it against a wall, you can. Reach your arms up. Widen through the chest as you look up. Nice. And then as you dive forward, bring your knees towards each other, rounding forward. Widen your knees, looking up. Rounding forward, knees come together. Find your version of this. Maybe it's only the arms that you're moving. Maybe you ignore the bit about the legs. Maybe you're sitting on the chair and doing this and finding your way of moving into a rounding forward deeply. And then an opening wide. Nice. Rounding forward. Opening wide. Oh, cool. I'm lying on the floor. Lie down on the floor. I'll stick a picture up somewhere of the snow. It's really sweet. I wonder, is it snowing everywhere? in the whole world. No, like in Devon, down in Exeter, is it snowing at the moment? It's not snowing in South Africa. Might be snowing in America. Margaret, is it snowing in America? Tanya, it's definitely not snowing over there for you in South Africa. Maybe in Devon. Maybe the girls in Devon. Who knows? Thanks for joining me. Very cool to be here this morning. Loving this adventure of us, seeking new ways to move and connect and be with our bodies. I'm liking this. I feel like something new is happening. It's cool. Very excited by it. Cool. Lovely. See you tomorrow.